Chris Eubank Jr. versus Dmitry Chudinov. First and foremost, let me say, a really, really good fight. Very, very entertaining matchup. The styles made from a good fight. There were times where there wasn't too many jabs being thrown and it was an absolute war. Chris Eubank Jr. wins by KO in the 12th round. It got to the point where he was landing with such regularity on Chudinov that even though Chudinov wasn't taken off his feet, even though Chudinov didn't necessarily look like being actually knocked out, the referee was certainly right to call it off. Very entertaining fight, very, very eye-catching, aesthetically pleasing performance from Chris Eubank Jr. And there was some improvement from Eubank Jr. today. There were times where he boxed well behind a jab, which I was really pleased to see. In addition to that, there were times where he showed more advanced movement than I've seen from him before. It really was positives in those two senses. Eubank Jr. does have a jab. It's actually an effective weapon. Eubank Jr. can move from side to side and work round opponents with his footwork. And these were sort of questions that I had over Eubank Jr. that today he answered. I must admit he's gone up in my estimations, and in beating Dmitry Chudinov, he certainly deserves to be classed as a top 25 middleweight. I mean, Chudinov is no world beater whatsoever. He's slightly one-dimensional. He's quite limited technically. He's not, the most dynamic, athletic fighter. But Chudinov is a solid guy who's performed at a solid level. Very tough, very strong, very durable. And Chris Eubank Jr. has, done a job on him tonight. From my eyes, had the fight gone the distance, I would have scored it 9 rounds to 3 in favour of Chris Eubank Jr. Really, really was quite an eye-catching performance from Chris, and fair play to him. I've been critical of him in the past, but congratulations do go out to him for this performance, and he is showing some improvements. Now, having said that, it wasn't a perfect performance. Let me say, I thought the commentary on this fight was very poor. I'm a fan of Barry Jones and Box Nation, but I thought tonight, very, very biased Box Nation commentary. They were giving Eubank Jr. They weren't giving Dmitry Chudinov any credit for the work he was doing in my eyes. Barry Jones was constantly saying something like, this is a whitewash, I've scored every single round to Chris Eubank Jr. It's a spectacular performance. I don't think they gave credit to Chudinov where it was due. I think Chudinov was able to land on Chris Eubank Jr. again with surprising regularity, especially in the first half of this fight. Now, it may be that Eubank Jr. is just a slow starter, as we saw in the Saunders fight, but I've still got really large concerns about the guy's defence. To my eye, Chudinov was simply able to land on Eubank Jr. far too regularly, and it comes down to the fact that Eubank is leaving himself very, very open and very exposed when he goes in and starts throwing these flurries. Now, it may be that he can take the power of Billy Joe Saunders, he can take the power of Dmitry Chudinov, and fair play to him, it does look like he's got a good chin, but I don't like it. And I said this about Golovkin the other day. I don't like it when a fighter gets into the habit of leaving himself open defensively, like it appears that Chris Eubank Jr. has done, because as he continues to go up the levels, and as he faces bigger, stronger, harder hitting opponents, those defensive frailties could well come back to bite him. I don't care how good his chin is, if you're fighting guys who can hit 20-30% harder than Dmitry Chudinov, you're going to be in trouble if you're taking blows. So I thought that was a big concern, and it is still a question that will have to be answered. I think the second concern is the stamina issue. The way Eubank Jr. fights is very much stop-start, takes a moment off, comes in, huge flurries, throws 20-30 punches, then takes some time off. And on occasions, it looked like he had punched himself out. Now, don't get me wrong, he hadn't enough tonight to take care of Dmitry Chudinov handily, but I think he needs to be able to fight at a 7 out of 10 pace more consistently, rather than a 10 out of 10 pace followed by a 2 out of 10 pace. For me, that's also a concern. Now, finally, another question that was answered tonight, and in the negative sense, is, as I said, I long suspected Eubank Jr. wasn't the biggest puncher. Clearly he can punch a little bit at middleweight. Clearly his punches are hurtful. But what I would say is, I thought it's quite telling that now in 24 rounds with Dmitry Chudinov and Billy Joe Saunders, despite the fact that he was landing with regularity on both guys, he's been unable to score a single knockdown. Now, if you watch the early Eubank Jr. fights, he has admittedly looked devastating, but these are guys who are light middleweights, these are guys who are welterweights, these are guys who aren't ranked in the top 100 of their respective divisions. He's fought two genuine 160-pounders in Saunders and Chudinov, and the knockdowns have ceased. You've seen it instantly. Even today, you know, in that last round, he hit Dmitry Chudinov with everything, but wasn't able to score a knockdown. You know, for me, the power just isn't there to the same extent that people seem to think it is. And anyone today who was betting on Eubank Jr. By KO must have had their heart in their mouth towards the end of the fight, because it was pretty touch and go. What I'm getting at here, very much an improved performance. You know, the jab was looking good, the movement was looking good. There really was one or two positives that came out of it for my eye, and I think it was very much improved, albeit admittedly against a lesser opponent than Billy Joe Saunders. But for me, my concerns are that the defence is simply too poor, that the power isn't there, and that potentially he's going to have stamina issues and concerns as he carries on throughout his career. I think with that in mind, at this stage, if he was to rematch Billy Joe Saunders, I'd be taking Saunders right now. I know that apparently Coral have made Chris Eubank Jr. a 1-2-1 favourite in that rematch, and I find that absolutely absurd. You know, whilst he did well tonight, let's be honest, Chudinov is very, very, very technically limited. He's nowhere near as slick, nowhere near as defensively minded, and nowhere near as sort of advanced as Billy Joe. And the fact that Chudinov was able to land with such regularity, you know, gives me huge cause for concern. As Billy Joe probably rightly predicted at ringside, you know, if he was fighting Chudinov, not only would he have genuinely whitewashed him, but he wouldn't have taken anywhere near as much punishment as Eubank Jr. did. Let me know your thoughts. Many thanks for watching. And the one thing I will say about Eubank Jr. is I know I come on here and I'm a bit critical of him, but the guy is entertainment. Not only with his outside of the ring personality, but also with his in-ring personality. The way he moves, the way he throws punches, you know, the way he's defensively open. You know, I really do enjoy watching him. He's a great character and he's an entertaining fighter to watch stylistically. So, fair play to him. Another good Chris Eubank Jr. night, a good fight to watch, and some improvements. Let me know your thoughts.